All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Nisemonogatari, episode 6. Okay.
Episode 6 or episode 6? Hopefully not.
I mean,
because they are siblings after all.
We have Karen
Family.
and Araragi. Yeah, I can't believe you would be so disgusted by this, Jacob.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, because, see, the thing is, they're related by blood. It's a problem. It's a problem.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now it's suddenly a problem.
That's right. That's right. They
gotcha.
can't use the perfect means of protection of no chromo.
Full chromo here.
Yeah, exactly.
In that case.
Yep.
But apparently this is something that's going to be helping to solve the oddity via Shinobu's secondhand information from that old guy. That
Right. Yes. No, not old guy. The brat.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Exactly. Excuse me. Just expelling a little R&B there, you know. Okay, so now that we are moving towards a solution towards the oddity, the question will be, well, obviously, Araragi's not able to solve, the problems himself. She's got to do something. Now, is this the part where, yes, she has to participate in this in some way?
She has to be kissing him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But hey, it's Monogatari, so let's just find out what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else?
I'm curious to see. Okay, because the whole scene with Shinobu, in the bath scene, that was very touching, and it had a lot of depth and complexity to it. That even if it took a little bit to sort of figure it out, that was definitely there. I'm curious how they will work something of a similar nature into this scene here.
I mean, a lot of the ways that the oddities have been solved in the past have been, in some very interesting ways.
Right. Granted, but how will they have Araragi kissing his sister play into that? So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. The flower blooms.
Why don't we just have a cherry popping?
No, it's not that. Come on.
No.
All of it.
Wait.
Okay.
So he did kiss her? Wait. Are they just skipping her reaction to that and everything?
Hachikuji! The prance! Oh my god!
She sensed him
right
coming behind her.
Yeah. Oh! She said his name right.
Yeah.
Ha!
Oh my god.
Wow. Danger. She's very disappointed they were not able to have fun with this, yes. He's completely dead. Gone forever. Ha! Ha! Wow. Disappear.
Wow.
This is amazing.
Kanbaru tried to have her way with me, and that kind of terrified me.
Aww. She's caring about him, yeah. In a serious way. Oh.
Gotcha.
Okay, good. Gotcha. Hmm. Combate! Oh. Ha! I don't know. I think it's about equal in terms of idiotic. Yeah. Cool. Uh. Hmm.
Do you, though?
Oh my gosh.
You're asking her that.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's true. Yeah.
Or that's not what they need to hear. Exactly.
Oh.
Wow.
That was a reference to that super big
yeah.
The Detective Conan, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh. Every
Cool.
time we have a Hachikuji scene, I'm reminded how much I like Hachikuji. Like, oh. Oh. Oh.
We haven't seen those in a while. Oh, she just disappeared.
Yeah. Well, they've been teasing a lot of things, you know, throughout kind of Hachikuji's thing about her eventually disappearing. So it's something of like, you know, will he have to save her like eventually? And it's just kind of a thing of, and you know, enjoying the time that he has with her. Because did you notice that environment they were in was like something we'd never seen before? So kind of the way that this show uses its backgrounds to showcase kind of the inner emotions and thoughts of the characters in the scene.
Sure, like the escalators going different directions, so they're sort of bouncing ideas like off of each other. Yeah,
but it was so bright and happy and almost like kind of charming towny kind of look. So I think if anything, it's just showcasing how much fun they both have with each other.
Sure.
And in some ways, Araragi doesn't have this much fun with really anyone else. Like, this is a unique thing to Hachikuji.
Right, because Hachikuji doesn't really directly help in a lot of ways with the oddities. Like, she'll talk with Araragi.
She definitely helps Araragi.
Helps. Right, exactly. Yes. But, yeah. And they brought that up.
Yeah.
I'm really glad, though, that Araragi remembered what he had mentioned with during his scene with Kanbaro.
Whoa. Big wall of text.
Yeah, but that's normal.
Senjo Gahara-san. Oh. Oh.
Ah.
All right.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. I did not. There's no bullying. What? Being bullied by Hanakawa?
There's no way.
Well, what it might be is that Hanakawa is leveraging certain things against them to maybe pull the two of them apart. Yeah. Wait. I don't know about that.
Yeah. Because she's such a tsundere, she covers for her own little...
But the thing is that he just had the whole encounter with Karen, so he's not going to meet in person because of traps potentially like that. Yikes. Oh my god. Ugh. It's a gun.
Yeah.
It's one of those rubber band guns.
Yeah.
Question mark. We have passed. Wow.
Okay.
Well, I mean... Sundering! What?
Wow.
What? Oh, man. Oh, cool. Flashback to episode 2.
Yeah.
Match can start the fire. Wow, that's a JoJo pose.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Oh.
Okay. Was waiting for that. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. So I tsundere. It's not like I knew this for you. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That makes sense, actually. Yeah. Huh. Ah. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Right.
Yeah, I'd prefer.
And the tower's now super tall.
Yep. She's just dumbfounded. Oh no. So incredibly cool.
Oh my.
Cool. What the heck? Yeah. Cool. But what's going on with
Cut
the
my hair.
Hanako?
I thought it was something that would happen before.
It wouldn't be foreshadowing. Wow. Ah!
Yet.
This is so funny. Wow. Yes, good.
With our neck tilts.
Hmm. Huh. Hmm. She's good. She's good.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Oh.
Oof.
Yeah. Okay. Hanakawa. Oh. Shinobu. That look of just like.
Mm-hmm.
Kaka. Bring up the whole idea of who's the master.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Of course, sure.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Clue in, Aragi. That's awesome.
Pretty much.
Kaka. I'm gonna sniff her out.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You know what it could be?
What?
It's a little freaky. But they were at a location that looked kind of like a crossway. She could be at like a very high point, like thinking of jumping.
But that wouldn't make sense for
her. No, it wouldn't. But remember, she's afflicted by the oddity.
Right, but
especially if it's just something where there was an important reason of why we didn't have actually any direct showcasing of what happened when Araragi took half of the poison.
Right, like that could just be because it's like she's his sister and they didn't want to like have that actually be like shown. But like taking half the oddity, that's kind of an important plot.
It is a huge important thing
to not show it.
So I think with the next episode they're going to go into what happened there and maybe showcase a little bit of how Karen's dealing with it being something that she's upset with the way things are being handled.
But I don't know if I could buy that it would be because of the oddity, because it should be affecting her less now than it used to be. And she wasn't doing anything like that before, so...
Or maybe it's just because of what Araragi did,
sure.
You know? Yeah. Huh.
Of course.
Oh.
True.
Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
Okay, so what are you going to come up with?
Nice. Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Tsukihi Phoenix.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So this was the 6th episode, and we have a couple interesting developments here.
Yeah.
There's one, I would say, the first instance of some big kind of plot things changing with regards to the Karen B solution.
Right.
Because Araragi successfully took half of the poison.
Right, but not all of it. But he took half of it,
yeah.
And it was something that either is so important that they don't want to show us it yet,
yeah.
or was so unimportant that it wasn't worth showing.
Right. The idea is that just that he was successful, let's move on. It's now the story's going to be about where do we go from here.
Yeah.
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 But we had some characters show up. Hachikuji. Haven't seen Hachikuji in a little bit.
And her whole scene was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Probably one of my favorite things this episode was the Hachikuji moments.
Yeah.
There were some
the
really
dialogue
good
popped
there.
like crazy. And even though it's a small detail, I'm glad they kept the whole thing of Araragi's, thinking back during his scene with Kanbaru of, I'm going to be a lot more sensitive with Hachikuji and how I interact with her.
Yeah. And it seemed like there was some
awesome.
Some really genuine enjoyment here, almost to the point of where it's like they're really wanting us to be worried about the idea of where Hachikuji's future is.
Right.
Because every time, recently, they've been ending the Hachikuji scenes with, ominous stuff. Really ominous stuff.
And even the whole thing of, her actually calling Araragi by his real name, that could be just, a jab at him of basically, you're not doing your shtick, so I'm not going to either.
Hey,
which is
possible,
Which is definitely possible, and that's what Hachikuji said, so that could be what it is. But since kind of everyone is a tsundere in their own way, maybe in this one, in this show, well, okay, not everybody. A lot of them are tsunderes. I would not at all be surprised if they were doing some sort of layering where Hachikuji calling Araragi by his actual name is basically showcasing that there's a seriousness to Hachikuji's existence right now that maybe Araragi isn't fully aware of.
Or appreciating.
Right? Or appreciating, right. The idea that if Hachikuji was aware that she was fading away and that she didn't maybe have much time left, she might not feel as in the mood for, fun and games and stuff as she normally would be, right?
Yeah. And it does feel like they're moving things towards a more seriously kind of wholesome things with Hachikuji.
Right.
So there's the wholesome side, but there's less playful jabs coming from her. And while there are definitely jabs, in some ways they're kind of little mini calls to action in some ways.
Right.
I'm going to bring up some specifics later on, but so the Hachikuji stuff was amazing.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to say is that
go for it.
There's the possibility that Hachikuji doing this is basically the way of just keeping her own shtick fresh.
Sure.
Keeping Araragi on his toes, because it's like, okay, yeah, you think I'm just gonna, do Araragi or something and then say, kamimashite.
Right,
but instead I'm not going to, and then you're going to be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, then we had a huge scene with Senjugahara.
Yeah, that was a long one.
We got a lot of specifics regarding what she plans to do regarding the whole Kaiki situation, and how this is going to be her resolving a lot of things to do with her past, and specifically how Kaiki's involvement was the final nail in the coffin on the marriage of her mother and father.
Right.
And although that was going to happen eventually, he orchestrated this out of his own desire for greed, for money, greed, and also his callousness towards others. As she said, malice. It was something that she apparently believes she has a monopoly on, and he's like, I don't know about that.
Right, but it's like I feel like the whole tsundere thing with Senjugahara is very much like she's a self-proclaimed tsundere, So a lot of the things that she does, it's like, well, I have to keep up this character after all. Because,
that does make sense. Yes.
Which you could almost say is both a form of banter, but then also a form of like protection.
Yep.
Now she doesn't truly need that with Araragi necessarily.
No.
But it also might be something where she's wanting to see like, okay, but how closely is he paying attention?
Yes.
Almost like with Shinobu with the whole thing that she did, but. But we also got something even more this episode about the idea that Senjugahara might be
a slave to Hanakawa.
Yes, which is
what?
Odd.
Well, there was the phone call thing that kind of put us onto this whole vibe,
right? And
then there have been some little name drops and little odd inconsistencies.
Hanakawa-sama,
and then just straight up calling her master.
Right, master. Hanakawa,
And in some ways, I am wondering if the way that this is happening with Senjugahara is that while there's probably some part of it that is, just for the banter side of it, I genuinely think that a lot of what Senjugahara's character is part of what you were saying just earlier, is the Araragi, are you paying attention?
Sure.
Because remember back when their relationship formed, it was the whole thing of that he did pay attention and, called, what he had for her Senjugahara fascination.
Right.
And she, in some ways, fell head over heels for him.
Yeah.
Like, right then and there, with that whole moment of him really paying close attention to her little idiosyncrasies and stuff.
Right.
So with this here, it seemed like the whole conversation was layered with moments of her being like, Araragi,
and
I need you to be, here with me on this.
Yeah, and the exact
this is important to me.
And the exact motivation for the things that she does seems to be... It's not quite as clear to me now, because it feels like it could be a few different things.
Okay.
Like with the Hanakawa stuff, right? The fact that she makes those slip-ups of master, Hanakawa, that's very much intentional, right?
Oh, it's very much intentional. Yeah.
When she does that, it's not a Araragi, are you paying attention? It's a, hey, I'm saying something. I'm making a point, right?
I could see that being kind of equivalent, though, in that she's basically saying, I need you to notice this.
Sure, right.
But I won't directly say, oh, did you know, by the way?
Right, exactly. Because
that's not her style.
Exactly. It's not her style, and if Araragi knows that she's telling him something, then, well, one, it's also a form of protection, because then it's the whole thing of she's a tsundere. She doesn't actually care about Babaka,
right?
But she's still going to make sure, hey, there's this thing that is very important to me that I want to make sure that you understand, which could be the idea of Hanakawa potentially bullying her, which doesn't seem like the kind of thing that, Senjugahara would really put up with.
That's the accurate statement.
So the question is why is she putting up this facade? Is it so that way she will seem like the damsel in distress that Araragi needs to protect, so that she'll keep him close by? Is it to let him know that basically Hanakawa thinks of him maybe as more than a friend, so that way he he won't basically just do all the regular interactions with her that he does that Senjugahara probably doesn't really like, that Araragi does just because, oh well, you know, it's just Hanakawa. I
never thought about the mind games going back towards Hanakawa in a negative way. Basically, being the thing of like, watch out for Hanakawa, watch out for Hanakawa.
Right, exactly. Don't trust her, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Because on some level, I don't think even Senjugahara is that direct with her indirectness.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I would think that if anything, what this is that Hanakawa made Senjugahara promise something. Because there was this whole thing with promises also.
And that seems to be the most sincere aspect of it, because Senjugahara was kind of taken by surprise, and it wasn't something where Araragi specifically necessarily knew the context, even though he ended up finding out later.
Right.
For the moment, it was a more or less private conversation between the two of them.
Right.
But at the same time, if you think about the assertiveness of those two characters, Senjugahara has Hanakawa beat 5-1. Like, you know, it's no contest. So either Hanakawa's maybe changed a bunch, and that's the whole idea of the cutting the hair, but the cutting of the hair seems to be something of like, you know, relinquishing the past, which is something that Senjugahara said.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think that's the thing that ties a lot of what we would say our vision of who Hanakawa is the past. And in some ways, if she's cut her hair, basically saying that she's relinquished the past, you know how like terrifying that could be if Hanakawa basically became someone that was basically a threat, you know, someone that was like this in some ways, because of not only just how much she was in love with Araragi. I mean, she probably still is.
Right. And the cutting of the hair is basically making a physical decision to say that
to move on,
right?
Right.
So then maybe that's how she has leverage on Senjugahara, is that it's the thing of, hey, I'm moving on, but you do some things for me so that I stay moving on, kind of a thing.
Because if you don't,
right,
then
exactly.
I will make him my boyfriend, basically.
Right. It's the giving a positive and also threatening a negative, you know?
Right.
It's not just something where she's saying, like, I'll try and make a move on Araragi or something, because if that were the case, then, you know, Senjugahara would just be like, okay, that's fine, I can make you an appointment with all these 100 sharpened pencils.
Yeah.
You know, but...
I have a question. Do you think that Senjugahara is worried about the stability of her relationship with Araragi?
I could definitely see that.
And do you think, like, it's at, like, peak levels right now? Because... Yeah, I think that's part of something that could explain what she's going through here.
Yes, definitely. That, because one of the things that I've been kind of curious about is how they'll continue the arcs of the girls after their immediate oddity is resolved.
Okay.
Senjugahara was introduced first. Her oddity was resolved immediately. Now she has this relationship.
Her oddity was introduced first. Wasn't Hanakawa introduced technically first?
Well, okay, yeah. Her oddity was introduced first. She had her first arc, right?
Right.
And that was resolved, and then they had the whole thing with her being in a relationship with Araragi, which is how they kept the interactions going, and there was still a lot of progression and stuff to happen there, right?
And amazing.
And it was amazing stuff. Absolutely wonderful, right? But with other characters like Hanakawa, the cat is very much still a thing, right? You know, with Hachikuji, there's this whole idea of her potentially fading away, right? You know, the oddities don't completely go away, right? Kanbaru, she still has the arm and everything. So with Senjugahara, what are they going to do exactly? If anything, I could definitely see it being...
She actually had her crab thing solved.
Right, exactly. Right. So I could see it being something where it's an insecurity thing, because she is a tsundere, right? So it makes sense. And when she was telling Araragi about the whole thing of like, I have a condition, you know, request, all that stuff, and he's like, I'll do it. I'll, you know, whatever it is, as many of them as there are. On the one hand, it seemed like she was saying that it's like, you're not going to be getting much sleep tonight. Like, we're going to you know, consummate the relationship.
Meaning, after this, if we do this, you know.
Right, exactly. We'll bang, okay?
Yeah.
But there was a part of me that was, and maybe this is just like me not cluing it at all. But there was a part of me that was wondering if Senjugahara was or has been considering breaking up with Araragi.
Oh.
Because she has been a side character, and Senjugahara doesn't like being a side character. You know, the whole thing of her like, you know, kidnapping Araragi, right, and saying that she's going to do all this stuff for him and things like that, right?
Okay.
Is that something that is just because she wants to, or is it? And of course she does care about him, and stuff. And the lines that she gave this episode with like if I was a man, I would kill you out of jealousy over your manliness right now. It's like,
right.
But luckily I'm a woman. That was all absolutely wonderful. But there's this. Like,
I don't know where you're getting the thing of her maybe breaking up with Araragi.
Maybe it's just me being paranoid, but the thing that they seemed to communicate about Senjugahara from the oddity was the idea of her being fragile, right? Which of course is not what she's like, but at the same time she makes comments about the idea that Araragi likes that, he likes the fragile women and all that stuff that he can save and stuff, but I'm not like that. But if she's a tsundere, then maybe it's that she actually kind of is like that, and she puts on this facade
of being
right?
strong.
This imposter, mask of being strong, so that way she doesn't have to deal with that, right? No one pokes too closely at those kinds of things because they know, she's Senjugahara, she's tough.
Yeah. If anything, it did feel like that she was manipulating him a little bit through this interaction.
Yeah, but stop the presses. Like, that's nothing new.
And that's nothing new, but she did give a point of like, have I ever lied? And it was just like, wait, you lied all the time. That's the point of being a tsundere.
Right, exactly.
And yet that's kind of the thing, is that when I see this kind of behavior from Senjugahara, there's the banter parts where it's like, oh, she's having fun with this. Like, this is fun. But then there's the other parts where you start to see, I think she's asking for help.
Right. There's this sense of finality to the things that she's saying.
Well, and not only that, there's kind of a, what will you do kind of thing.
Exactly.
And I think that's betraying the insecurity, is that she's worried, maybe because of not just the Hanakawa thing, is that she's going to lose him,
right?
And in some way, she kind of, it's the same kind of thing I would say with what they did in episode 2 that I kind of took a while to kind of understand, was the idea that she puts herself she puts herself a bit into these vulnerable positions where he can basically screw up royally.
Yeah.
But if it's not that he just doesn't screw up, he also does something awesome in addition to that.
Right.
It builds her trust in him.
Exactly. And I feel like that's why Senjugahara likes Araragi, is because while there are all these opportunities for him to screw up, she knows that she can depend on him when it counts, right?
Right. And
so the testing the things, like testing him and stuff, in some ways that's her dealing with her own insecurities and her own fragile nature, right? But then also but the fact that she's been able to do that and it's turned out okay is why they're together in the first place. So like the whole thing of like her breaking up with him, not that I think that she's ready to do that right now, but I would not be surprised if this were a situation where basically this was some big test of sorts, and it was going to end potentially with them breaking up, or not that I don't think that's actually going to happen in the show, because that kind of defeats the harem purpose of it. But
so you're metagaming, actually, that because she's offering that, things have to go badly because the harem must be maintained.
Or at least, like, the idea that I think there is the possibility in Senjugahara's mind of this actually going badly. Like, as much as she knows Araragi and trusts Araragi, and he's surprised her time and time again, there have been times where he's surprised her in a not so great way.
Yeah. She got a little meta also in this exchange where she was talking about, this is actually foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing for your death, for my what?
Yeah.
And
that was, I think that was the big thing, is the idea of the the climax and foreshadowing for the death and everything. She could be talking about the death of the relationship potentially.
Yeah, it's possible. In the same way in that Hachikuji mentioned in this episode that Araragi is dead. Basically, Araragi has he's no more. Like, where is it? There's the part where basically because of
because there isn't the sexual harassment, he's just a flea now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that was all he had to his name. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Araragi's son is dead. Yes. Yeah. Remove the sexual harassment and is nothing but a flea. Yep.
Yeah.
And
I I told you to disappear. Why are you still here?
Yeah, well, we can bring back up the Hachikuji stuff in a bit, but I think that if you're going with the angle that Senjugahara believes things are going to go badly, I think the best thing that I can... Well, not the best thing. The one thing I can guarantee that ties into what I'm vibing with here is that she is dealing with... I just love that. Yeah. She's dealing with a lot of insecurities.
Yes.
And in some ways, her basically using this thing with Kaiki as being I'm going to move on from my past. I'm going to be like Hanakawa.
Right.
In some ways, I think what happened with Hanakawa is she found her own identity maybe outside of Araragi.
Yes,
and that does fit in with the whole idea of her breaking up with him. However, I think what it will end up being is more that Senjugahara will.
Well, I don't know.
Go
like,
with it.
Not that there will that. She'll break up with him necessarily, because I mean they could do that, but that's just something that I'm throwing out there because I feel that kind of tension in the air. But on the whole identity thing, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that we saw that was very intentional, because it left the actual room that they were in and went somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
Is when she's walking around the pencils or whatever it was, and each time she goes, her outfit changes.
Yeah.
What that communicates to me is that she is questioning who she is, right? She's questioning herself and her identity. Okay. Right? Because,
let's go back to that scene.
It's it's got like, the school uniform, the maid outfit, the clothes, when she's in a room and stuff like that.
I'll find it. You keep talking.
But that seems like the kind of thing, the questioning and stuff. Oh yeah, it was all the street signs, yeah. But that seems like the kind of thing that when you're questioning yourself and who you are on that deep level, that seems to me like there's something big in your life that's about to change or already has changed, right? Something like breaking up, that would fit the bill for me, especially since she cares about Araragi so much. Because the thing is that if she did break up with him, I don't think, it wouldn't be something where she just thinks, oh, we're breaking up and that's that, right? It would suck, and it would more be something where she would feel like that had to happen rather than she wanted that to happen, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, she says, I've gone looking for wasn't a little thing sundering. You plan to seek revenge on all 5 con artists? It's over. Aren't there other things you need to settle? Like Oshina... Of course not. Like Oshino-san told me, I won't pretend to be the helpless victim of those con artists. My personality isn't such... Or I relied on them and I was betrayed. My personality isn't such that I still... My personality isn't the issue here. And she says, I won't do that. And it says, you have some personality problems, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting there is that basically what she's saying, if you go at this from the standpoint of the personality thing, is kind of saying the tsundere maybe bit there, is that who I am and what I do isn't the problem. The problem is out there, these con artists and stuff. Then Araragi kind of rejects that idea, going, no, you have some problems. Right. And in some ways, that's a form of potentially some kind of denial of Senjugahara, basically saying that
right, and that's
my problems are out here.
And that's what tsunderes are all about, is basically not being honest with themselves about how they're feeling.
Right. And yet, who in her environment right now could potentially be a fake that she kind of has to keep threatening a little bit, at least in her mind? Araragi.
Yeah.
So, in some ways, I think that this little arc with Senjugahara, if anything, will be about Araragi, I would say, re-emphasizing his attachment and trust to Senjugahara.
Fascination.
Exactly. And then Senjugahara, if anything, will have to realize that, no, there are some problems still that she needs to deal with. And if anything, I think they might take a break, but they won't do a break up. Because back when Bake was happening, I just couldn't see the relationship. And a lot of times I was like,
Senjugahara, why are you putting up with this guy?
Right. But now I see maybe where Senjugahara might be a little bit too...
holds the relationship too highly?
Well, no, just a little bit... maybe lacking a little bit of self-awareness. And
sure, I could definitely see that.
And
I mean,
that's something that might end up harming the relationship because she perceives the relationship differently than Araragi does. But then
I'm not even sure Araragi knows how Araragi perceives the relationship.
Yes, but he does give a very honest thing here towards the end.
Yes.
Where he's like, but here's the thing, like, you know, hold on, there's all the Hanakawa stuff.
Right,
Hold on.
Yeah, protecting each other, blah, blah, blah.
Wait, was this actually at the end, or was it closer to the beginning? He's basically talking about how much he loves her.
Right, and then she does the whole thing of, you know, wow, you were so cool that if I was a dude, I would kill you out of jealousy.
Right, I'm trying to find that, but basically...
Yeah. Right, because...
Sometimes I don't know why I'm... Oh, yeah. You're talking about her going to prison for doing a crime.
Right.
Sometimes I don't know why I'm dating you, but I love you so much, I don't need a reason. And she literally, like, has this dumbfounded, adorable look of, like, wait, what? Really? And she says, if you're going, then let's go together. You can protect me, I'll protect you. And she goes, oh, no. Oh, you're so incredibly cool.
If I were a man, I'd be so jealous of your manliness that I'd kill you. Terrifying.
And he's like, terrifying!
And then she's like, I'm glad I'm a woman, because I can love you.
And then she breaks her...
Right, yeah, which is cool, because the pencils you could see as like a... Okay,
it's a narrative she's constructing.
Yeah, well, it's a narrative, but also the pencils are a representation of her tsundere-ness, right? Because they're the sharp parts of her, right?
Well, right.
That she uses to defend herself, right?
Which is fake. Potentially.
Yeah,
But it's that makes it a narrative personality thing.
Right. But it's the structure that she's constantly building. You know, notice how it changed over the course of the conversation. It's exactly.
Fragile.
Yes, it's fragile. Yeah. And she builds it up, and as the conversation going, it gets huge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, which could be showcasing.
In fact, you can hear it building itself in the background, actually, in multiple parts.
Now, whether that's something where it's showcasing her fragile nature increasing, like her defense is increasing, or whether it's them decreasing because it's granting stability to something that is fragile. But the structure itself is fragile, so I get the feeling that it's more of her fragility, because she's a tsundere. She's not cool with her emotions, and she gets scared when she starts getting emotionally attached to something because she can't handle the fragility. So then
she's been betrayed in the past.
Exactly, right. So then when Araragi does the cool thing, then she presses the one part that causes it all to come crumbling down, basically saying that she has come to terms with her fragility, and that what he did right there pierced right through all the sharp points, right to the heart.
Do you realize pencils are red, and we kind of figured out what red means in Kizu, but also the fact of where she's building it, directly in between her and Araragi.
Oh, nice.
And she's saying, my personality's not the issue here. As she, with her personality, builds this whole thing here.
And then she finally, at the end, pushes it over, and basically the wall comes down.
Right, but it wasn't that Araragi told her, you have personality problems. If anything, what I think is really cool here is that he thought in his head, yeah, you have some personality problems. But then he basically does the simple, stupid, just honest love thing.
He's like, sorry,
and she's just like, oh, okay. You just broke the whole tower of cards, you know, basically.
And if anything, that was the way he said that was a perfect way to address her concerns, probably, but then also wash them away, because she was probably also wondering, I don't know why he's dating me. I don't know why we're dating, right? It doesn't, like, I'm not sure if it really fully makes sense, right?
Yeah, and
hence why she's worried about Hanakawa, because she's like, everyone would expect Hanakawa. There would be reason for him to date Hanakawa, right?
And he's always off and about with other girls.
Exactly.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yep.
And Senjugahara is definitely the jealous type in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But here's another thing that's really crazy, is that if you look at Senjugahara's stuff here, she's talking about, you know, fakes like Kaiki with real power, and talking about how, have I ever lied? But I'll keep my promise.
She lies all the time.
She lies all the time.
Like,
now,
she does nothing but lie, pretty much, and that's the way she's honest.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Her lies are so dramatically obvious.
Right, and consistent.
And consistent.
Yeah.
But if you looked at this conversation through a lens of, I would say, lies and truth, she's actually mixing really hard the two together. And there's times where you're able to tell that she's not lying. She's intentionally withholding information when, asked about it. So now it's gotten complicated. Mm-hmm. And then she's building these complicated structures.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I see it as there's a certain type of delusion that I think in some ways I end up falling into a lot when I go into certain theory crafting. It's when you basically perceive certain things as being attributed to a specific narrative. So you basically take logical leaps to rope it into the overall narrative.
You do that a lot with like negative intentions, like secret nefarious plans and things like that.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. With certain characters for sure, but with Senjugahara, one of the things that she has as part of just a problem that she's had to deal with is whether or not she can trust people, and this whole thing here basically screamed out Senjugahara's in a place of, I don't know fully if I can trust you.
Right.
And then you go into these things that are happening with other characters. You have, what's going on with the sisters.
Sure.
Whether or not, Araragi trusts them.
Right.
And it seemed like basically this was getting worse and worse in some ways up until Araragi gives his dumb, trustworthy honesty.
Yep.
And I'm saying dumb in that it's not that he's stupid. It's just that
he's a baka.
Simple. He's a baka. Yes.
And he's her baka.
Right. And it broke everything.
Right.
And I think that made the whole tension of it, because I think it is almost directly after this is that she then starts to do this perform thing where it's like, I understand. I'll do as you say. But I have a request. If you do this, like the presumption implied by the word request, she's basically saying in the flirty way, like,
after this, we are totally going to have
sex. Yes, exactly.
Right, which is after that point. Right. So yeah, exactly. So and that's where maybe because before that's probably where the whole breakup thing came from, where I was getting that vibe.
Okay.
Is because she was definitely questioning the relationship.
Right. I just see that as a thing she always does.
Sure, but that more so than normal. Like that's been happening for a while, and now it's kind of coming to a bit of a head. And she's questioning it here, and because of the whole her fragile nature that she hides behind this whole tsundere thing.
Right.
I would, if she did break up with Araragi, I could definitely see her doing it because she was worried that Araragi would leave her.
Yep.
So she will what's the not presumptuously, but when you attack someone before they attack you,
what?
Okay, whatever. In combat, or warfare or whatever, when you make a strike against someone
unprovoked.
No, because you're thinking they're going to make an attack.
Premeditated.
No, but okay, whatever. But that thing where you attack someone because they're going to attack you, so you attack them first so that they can't attack you. Preemptive. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know why I blanked on that word, but I could definitely see her doing something like that.
Okay.
And hence why the about face of maybe her questioning things and stuff, and then suddenly Araragi giving the baka, the perfect baka response.
Sure.
It just melts her heart.
Yeah. So then we have the whole thing with Tsukihi and Araragi's upset.
Yeah.
He's going out to look for Karin. He does not trust her even to come with and help, though.
And he tells her that.
Yeah, and he's very blunt with this whole thing here.
Yeah.
So he's basically creating another oddity issue.
Exactly.
While he goes to solve this one.
And the whole thing at the end of the episode with the whole, the proverbs that don't mean anything, and then it's like if I didn't have a brother, I'd be free. It's like, whoa, okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right. And then Shinobu at the end just to end on an awesome happy note.
I loved Shinobu being like so petty regarding the idea of helping him, but you have to make it an order so that I can,
and she
save
spells
face
it out
here.
for him because he's so not cluing in. She's like, come on.
And then, what cruel fate forces me to obey the orders of a lesser being like this human?
Yeah.
Cut.
Like, come on, let me save face here. Like, I don't want to actually do it, but why did I actually show up right now when I should be sleeping? Like, come on.
Right. I mean, she tried to make it about the whole thing of, oh no, your distress was so loud.
Right, exactly.
Couldn't help but wake up.
But eventually she just spells it out and is like, come on.
Well, it's also the thing of like, when a cat is like meowing at the door.
Oh,
The reason why you let the cat in is not because they're at the door and they want in. It's because they're screaming really loud and they woke you up and you want to go back to bed.
Right.
But sometimes it's just a cat screaming because cats do that at 2 a.m. for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Those of you that had a cat that does that, I am sorry. That is a thing that cats do. Just you have to deal with it and stuff.
But this was an absolutely awesome interaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apparently Karin is like right over there.
Yeah.
And she's like, she hasn't seemed to have gone very far. And then Aragi looks over and has this he is looking up, Jacob. See that? He's very clearly looking up.
Okay.
And has this like look of, wait, what? Like shock. So I'm just saying. We might be talking down Karin from a bit of a...
But I don't see why Karin would do something like okay, because here's the thing. If it is something like
punish
that...
him, I don't know.
Yeah, but...
Remember, she's overly dramatic and a bit delusional with the whole Fire Sister thing, yeah.
But I feel like if they were, from maybe a meta perspective, if they were going to do something where Karin would need to be talked down from a cliff, or, a ledge, right, then... It seems like it would make a lot of sense to have her be on the ledge, and then that's how they end the episode, right?
Gotcha.
With how it is here, because I don't see the reasoning for her character of why she would do that.
Yeah, not yet.
Right, and maybe it'll become clear. Like they could totally do that, but I feel like if they were going to do that, it would be better to show that she's doing that, and then it's the what, why, and then they give the explanation in the next episode.
It could be a thing of where. It's what you're talking about is the if I didn't have a brother then I'd be free. Shinobu is basically doing and she's right behind you. Omae wo mou shinderu. And then she literally comes out and she's trying to kill him. Like,
sure, or okay, well here's another thing they could do.
Because he's not an ally of justice, apparently.
I guess. Or yeah. Or they could do the thing of, or why did you take half of it from me? Like, come on, like this is my thing. Like, you don't think I can handle it, or something like that, or
yeah, it's possible. And she's just trying to beat him up.
Yeah, if
Shinobu just watches it from the sideline, she's like, where'd this donut come from?
Yeah, if she does end up being on a ledge, I would love it if it's the. Oh no, I'm a black belt in karate. Like I can, no, I'm just here because I'm free running or jumping from place to place or whatever.
Because the breeze is really nice and makes my hair look badass.
I'm doing an Assassin's Creed like surveying the city,
right,
trying to find Kaiki.
Yeah, electric guitar in the background,
and then she does a leap of faith.
Yeah, All right, well, lots of craziness this episode.
Yes,
really good interactions between Aragi and girls here.
Yeah,
very good stuff being foreshadowed, some in a meta silly way, and some in a very
behind
ominous
shadowed
way.
With Shinobu coming out of the shadow. Anyways,
yes,
yeah.
But looking forward to the next episode here. Karin and her oddity continue to be the focus of the story, but they gave a little tease about potentially a Tsukihi Phoenix,
and I
which
love
you are
Phoenixes,
Phoenix guys, so
like, I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I'm a fan, which is funny because Tsukihi, let's just say, is not my favorite so far. Like I
don't think she's anyone's favorite at this point in the story. Like you have so many great options at this point. Like
she's definitely better than Sengoku for sure. But like
yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah,
Sengoku's pretty near the bottom of the tier list.
But
here.
anyways, 'tis neither here nor there.
Exactly.
It'll be, like I'm excited to see what they'll do with that arc because I mean a Phoenix, like like rising from the ashes. Like come on.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to wrap things up here, but before we talk to you about Patreon stuff, Jacob has something cool to share with you.
Indeed. So my sci-fi novel, Battle Lines, is out. It's on Amazon. The link is in the description.
Now.
It's amazing. It's wonderful. The dialogue is fantastic. You know, if you like Monogatari style dialogue, I mean, you know, don't maybe necessarily hold it completely up to Monogatari standards for dialogue, but it's fantastic.
I think the characters are where you can definitely compare the two.
Yes.
I really enjoy the characters in Battle Lines and stuff, and as
they're
having
quite
read
good.
it in multiple
You
ways
can
and
speak from
throughs and
experience.
stuff. Yes, it's quite good. It's quite good.
International, you can't get hardbacks, but ebooks are available everywhere. So boom, get that. It's awesome. But next episode's reaction. If you want to see that right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about these stories or about Monogatari or Battle Lines.
Or Battle Lines. Yes, there's a whole community in there for that now as well. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.